I think they made leaps and bounds just late. Kind of like Apple did. Like, I'm pretty sure I left it in the like back of a seat, you know, on the airplane. It was my first time, and never saw the camera again. I was not old enough to get in the party, so I was like, well, shoot, at least I could take photos and end up, you know, making a few dollars. Hello, my name is Khalil Johnson. I'm the owner of RDK Studios and RDK Productions here in Decatur, Georgia. I am a professional photographer and videographer. I started this journey in a couple of answers to that, actually. The first answer, I'll say I started as a camera operator in church growing up. Not really thinking about it professionally, just as something to be involved in the church. So I didn't have to be in the choir or, you know, any other auxiliary or anything like that. But God has a funny way of doing things in your life to where, you know, seeds can be sown early and then, you know, benefits reaped later. So I'm a living testament to that. I learned a lot of skills from, you know, individuals that poured into me, and I think it's really important that I do the same for the next generation of filmmakers, photographers, videographers, and everybody in the like in the creative space, and just kind of helping make way for those to come. I started kind of photographing images for events, actually right there off Keller Road, not too far from home, for a party promoter that was kind of hosting parties. And I was not old enough to get in the party, so I was like, well, shoot, at least I could take photos and end up, you know, making a few dollars and that kind of thing. And I really enjoyed the aspect of capturing moments and kind of being reliable in that space and serving people that way, as well as just the growth. I was using my friend's dad's camera actually without his knowledge. It was a Canon, I think it was a 20D. It was either 20D or 60D. I had no way of replacing that camera. I was like 17 at the time. So if anything happened to it, I just would have been out of luck. But thankfully nothing did. I learned a lot, got my chops up a little bit. That was my first experience with a DSLR camera. And just kind of progressed from there. I put it down a little bit in college. I got to school and studied architecture my freshman year. And I purchased another camera. And then that kind of inspired me to do a little bit more. But once I bought my first DSLR with my own money that I was saving up working there at Auburn, I was like, okay, it's time. I made the investment, so now it's time to get to it. So that was 2014, if I recall correctly, like summer 2014. I rode up here actually from Auburn to buy it off Craigslist. It's a Nikon D5100. My friend Khalil was with me, and we just made a quick little turnaround trip to come pick up the camera, and been on and popping since then, really. Yeah, first camera, Nikon D. Well, I'm calling my first camera the first DSLR I had, because I've had like some point and shoot cameras that I loved. Like I got one in high school, it was a Kodak camera. I lost it on the airplane. My first flight to California, actually, we went and played in the Rose Bowl when I was in a band. I'm pretty sure I left it in the like back of a seat, you know, on the airplane. It was my first time, and never saw that camera again. Yep, I called Delta, and yeah, nobody knew what I was talking about. So that camera, and then the next camera I had was basically another point and shoot. It was a Sony something, maybe like a Sony CyberShot or something along that sort. But that's what I was getting my reps in when I was in school in architecture. We was photographing models and stuff like that, like architectural models. And yeah, but my first DSLR, like full interchangeable lens, that kind of thing, was the Nikon D5100. I learned a lot with that camera. Comparing that to what I own now, like I have a couple of mirrorless systems, so it's kind of night and day in terms of the abilities. So, you know, you got 4K video shooting, you know, 60 frame, 120 frame, higher frame rates, more bit rate, more bit depth. Essentially, it's like, you know, technology has progressed so much that everything is better in every way in terms of, you know, output and what's technically capable. You still have to tell stories. You still have to, you know, kind of create emotion and capture moments and use your basis of composition and, you know, balancing the frame and imagery and all that stuff. That won't go away, but, you know, because those things make an image beautiful. But the actual technical aspect is, I mean, it's light years. I'm shooting with the Nikon Z6 II here now. which this camera has some age on it now too. It's probably like 4 years old. They just released a ZR that's looking crazy. I'm thinking about buying that too. Shoot with Blackmagic pocket cinema camera. So all this stuff is got some good tools now that help us do our job a little bit better and easier. Yeah, I'm a Nikon, huge Nikon fan, mostly because I bought my first Nikon and I started buying lenses, so I just didn't want to kind of cross over from there. But yeah, they were slow early on in the video aspect. Like they were dope in photography. I've never had an issue with that, but the video capabilities like were lacking a little bit, especially like autofocus. And I'm talking like 2015, 16, 17 in that realm. But once they got this mirrorless system out, it started picking up quite a bit. And now they have the partnership with Red, or I guess Nikon purchased Red, the cinema line. So now we have a new line of Z cinema lenses. We got new Z cinema cameras, as well as new Red, the Red Komodos and all that good stuff. So I think they made leaps and bounds just late, kind of like Apple did. Like they aren't necessarily the first to introduce new features to the phone, but typically when they do, they get it right. So I think it's dope, man. I think I really enjoy Nikon. I like Sony's colors and shooting with Sony. I don't enjoy the experience per se only because of the menu system, but that's because of what my brain thinks the menu system should be. It's just a little different on Sony. So, but I worked with those a lot when I was in college, and every now and again. Who else? You got Canon. Canon has some nice colors. I think they were one of the ones that impressed me a lot with autofocus. I used to shoot with a friend of mine, my Dean Jordan, and he was a huge Canon guy like early on. So I think he might have like the R5, R6 stuff now, but back then he was shooting on, the mirrorless cameras. And like one of the first mirrorless series that Canon came out with, I couldn't believe how well the autofocus was working. It was ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, like I gotta step it up for sure. Yeah, I love those. Blackmagic, like I said, I shoot Blackmagic. I got some action cameras and all that good stuff. Insta360, got some cool, fun shots. Yeah, I'm cool with those. I'd say first, it was photography. Probably because of accessibility. Like it's easier to get a good photo than it is to get a good video, and what I mean by that is there's just more to consider with video elements. Now obviously, when I'm saying good, kind of like just as whatever this status is, you can take it to another level and it can progress quite a bit. But I think seeing great photos that I was able to produce or photos that were great to me early on kind of drew me in a little bit, and that made it super kind of chasing that thing. So that's what I was excited about. I'll say photo first, and then video came along. I'm more so leaning that way now. Like I really enjoy video because of what I just said, that it's harder to fake your way through good video. Like when it's done really well, it's like, man, that is impressive, because everybody can't do it. Like there's so much knowledge and know-how. I do some consulting now and kind of talking to people about how to use their equipment and software to hardware, all that good stuff. And whenever I talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a lot to it, because it's been so ingrained in me. I've been doing it for years. But when I'm explaining this to like a new person as a beginner, it's like, man, there's a lot to learn. I genuinely enjoy providing great service to people and their reactions to me keeping my word, essentially. Unfortunately, a lot of people, and this is not just photography and videography, this is kind of across businesses in general, people are experiencing subpar offers and services and customer service, and being charged premiums for it. So it's refreshing when they get great value at during the experience of something that they didn't necessarily recall or expect. They're like, oh, okay, so he did what he said he was going to do, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg, it just cost an arm. No, I'm just kidding. So I think that is really beneficial. It helps kind of build trust with our clients, and they recognize that it's not misplaced. I'm a thorough individual, genuine individual. My name means something to me, And I think those principles that I'm not willing to bend or break yield great experiences for our clients. So I really enjoy providing that great service to our clients.